everybody, today is April 18th and I hope you guys are having a great day. When I was in the gym today training one of my clients, a really good topic came up and I wanted to share it with you guys. You know, sometimes I think we get stuck in the past, and I kind of talked a little bit about this in my update video. For me, my past was my bodybuilding, but you can relate this to a lot of different things. I mean, it can be your past, something that you used to do that you identified yourself with. It could be, and I have a double whammy because it's like, I think when you go past the age of 40, I think things start to change, the way that you look, the way that you think. I don't know if it's worse for being a woman than it is for being a man, but to me, I kind of relate it to midlife crisis or menopause for women, or perimenopause for women. Things just start to change. For me, it's like I had kind of everything. You know, holding on to my past, and then the bodybuilding, and then being over 40 and being a woman. You know, your body starts to change. It can kind of be depressing sometimes, you know, especially then I got injured last year and I couldn't do some of the things that I could do before, and it gets depressing. And when I was talking to my client, she was bringing up, you know, that there are people out there that when they start to get a certain age, they say, oh, I'm old, I can't do that. And, you know, she was talking about how that bothered her. And that bothers me too, because I think the age is up here. You know, it's in your mind, and you can get stuck in that though, in that type of thinking, if you're trying to be what you used to be. If you're comparing yourself to your younger self. You know, so this isn't even really comparing yourself to somebody else. It's comparing yourself to a younger version of yourself. And that can actually make you stuck in the past, you know, because you're wanting to be what you used to be. And, you know, with the bodybuilding, I kept wanting to go back to that and train that kind of way, but I'm not that anymore. That's not me. It used to be me, but when I realized, it's like, you know what, that's not me. That's not me anymore. That was keeping me stuck in the past, and I couldn't move forward. And when I was talking to my client, I was explaining that, and then I started to relate it to when you're older. You know, you can do the same things as you start to get older too, and I'm guilty of that. I mean, that's why I saw it from that viewpoint too, is your body doesn't look the same. You know, your skin doesn't look the same. And you can take your energy and focus on those things that you wish you had or you wish were different, or you can take that energy and focus it on what you can do. You know, and in a sense, I was focusing on what I couldn't do as far as fitness, and I needed to get away from all of it to see really who I am now, who I want to be. You know, I need to be who I am now, not who I was in the past. And, you know, when you compare yourself to the way you used to look when you were younger, you know, and you get upset because you don't look that way, you know, and you think, gosh, I'm getting old. That's what's going to make you old, is when you take that approach to it. But if you take the approach of, yeah, that was great, that was me, that's always going to be a part of me, but this is where I am now. What can I do now? What do I want to do now? You know, that moves you into the present, which takes you to the future. If you stay stuck in comparing yourself to your younger self, your younger version of yourself, and the things that you used to do and the way that you used to look, that takes you out of the present and keeps you in the past. You stay stuck in the past, and when you're stuck in the past, I think we age a lot faster. We feel older. I think we become stiffer because our mind frames are telling us that we're getting old, or that we are old. Just because we're older than what we used to be when we're thinking of our youth doesn't mean that we're old. So the mind frame that I'm really seeing, and it's not that I'm that old, But when you compare yourself to a younger version of yourself, it can make you feel old sometimes, you know. And it's like when we just get out there and do the things that we want to do and have fun, that moves you out of the past. That brings you to the present. You know, it's like you get in touch with the real you. And, you know, being in the present, that's where the healing is. That's where the fountain of youth is, really. Because when you're in the present, you just go and do. You do things. You don't, you know, you have to be smart about the things that you do, you know. But it's like you find the things that you like and you do those things, and stop wanting to be. And I'm thinking of myself here when I say this, you know, stop trying to make your past fit into your present. And that's what I was kind of trying to do. I know I've started my channel over 3 or 4 times, or however many times it's been over the past 4 years or so, and said, okay, I'm back, I'm going to start again. I have a different perspective. You know, I was thinking that, you know, because I'm not a bodybuilder anymore, that maybe I was supposed to move on and do something else. You know, it's just something totally different. And that's not what came to me, you know, over this past year especially, is that sometimes it's not changing to something else, it's changing your mind frame of how you see things. And my bodybuilding is always going to be a part of my past. That's a part of me, but that's a part of me that is still inside me, deep inside me, but it's not all of who I am. I've become more. You know, I'm still a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for 31 years. I started really young, by the way. So over the past year, and actually this has probably only been the last 6 months or so, since October, like the week before my birthday last year in October, something just clicked and a change happened. That's what started this process, and it actually made me see things from a different perspective, almost like from an opposite perspective. It doesn't have to be just like my situation. I know there's a lot of people that get stuck. You get stuck, you know, for one reason or another. When you get stuck, you can become unhappy. You can feel tired. You feel tired, and which that reminds me of another thing we talked about, anxiety and performance. Sometimes being in the past. Okay, perfect example. This is an example that we talked about. This particular client was training with me for a while last year, and then some things came up. She had to stop for, I don't know, it's been probably 4 months or so. I didn't really know she was feeling this way until we started talking during the workout. She was kind of feeling bad because she didn't feel like she was where she was before. She felt like she should have been better. And she wanted to do good for me, you know, and it was causing anxiety in her. She was feeling anxious and, you know, tight and kind of beating herself up in a way because she wasn't doing the reps that she was and the weight, and it was just feeling hard. And when we started talking, I said, it's really not about that. That anxiety comes from not being in the present. In a way, she was stuck in the past. She was stuck where she was last year, thinking that that's what she should be, trying to be that, and she wasn't that. Because I don't care if you take 2 weeks off or if you take 2 months or 2 years. When you come back, you're not going to be the same as when you left. So when you know that and you understand that, it kind of takes away that anxiety. I wasn't expecting her to be where she was before. She was expecting to be where she was, and I think she thought that I was expecting that. But you know, you have to listen to your body, and you have to start from where you're at. So when I start posting my videos, just keep that in mind. I'm not going to push myself just because I feel like I have to. I'm going to listen to my body, and I know how much I can do and what's going to make me sore and what's not. So just keep that in mind. I'm starting from scratch. So, you know, and when you take time off, you have to. You know, so anyway, back to the anxiety. She was living in the past, and anxiety comes from not being in the present. Either you're thinking ahead too far, or you're stuck in the past and being someplace other than where you are. So the more we talked, the more she came to the present and kind of eased everything and helped her to relax. You know, and it's when you come to the present and accept where you are, that's what gives you freedom. That opens you up. It gets you out of your own prison. You know, we put ourselves in prison by trying to be something we're not, or hold on to something that we're not anymore. Maybe we used to be, but we're not anymore. That puts us in our own prison. And we get stuck, and we get sad, and we get depressed. I mean, just think of like if you were locked up in a little room with some bars. Would you be happy? You know, after a while of being there, it would be kind of sad and depressing. You know, and that's what we do in our minds. We become prisoners in our own minds, and we get stuck. And it's about moving away from that and being in the present and accepting who you are and where you are. And that's where you love yourself. You know, when you're holding on to something in the past and you're comparing yourself to your youth, your younger version of yourself, and you're beating yourself up, it's like, gosh, I wish I looked like that. That is not practicing loving yourself. That is practicing beating yourself up. Anytime that you put yourself down like that, or wish that you were something else, you're not loving yourself. That's keeping you stuck in the past, and it keeps you from moving forward in life on your path. So when you come to the present and say, you know what, I've taken some time off, I have some injuries or whatever, this is where I am, I'm just going to do the best that I can. I'm going to do my best, and this is where I am. And you start from that place, all of a sudden that prison door opens and you walk through, and you start moving forward on your path. And that's what it was about. That was the main message from today, was, you know, feeling like you have to perform to please somebody creates that anxiety. And you can even create it, you know, where you're trying to perform for yourself to be where you were before, when you're really not there at that time. You will be in the future if you go ahead and start, but you have to start. And as long as you stay in the past and you're beating yourself up, you're not even starting, you're stuck. You're staying where you are, where you were, where you are. And in order to get unstuck, you have to accept where you are and just start there. And that's not just with working out, that's with anything. That's with life. There's a lot more to this than just the physical. It's about fitness and health and a holistic approach. Mind, body, spirit, and emotions. It all plays a part in making this a lifestyle. Anyway, I think that's it. I think I said everything. I just wanted to share that little tip, and I will see you guys next time, okay? Bye.